If you really want to change your life, don't start with your goals. Start with your days. It's not what you do once in a while that shapes your destiny. It's what you do every single day. See, a man doesn't become strong by lifting weights once a month. He becomes strong by lifting something every day. The strength doesn't come from the event, it comes from the habit. Now let me tell you something about habits. Habits are silent architects. They're always building, quietly, consistently. And every habit you build is either building you a palace or digging you a pit. So be careful what you do daily, because your future self is going to have to live in it. Most people wait for motivation. They think one day they'll feel ready, they'll feel inspired. But that's not how it works. You don't rise to the level of your feelings. You rise or fall to the level of your habits. Success is not one big decision. It's 1,000 tiny ones. Waking up a little earlier, reading a few more pages, making that uncomfortable call, saying no to what doesn't matter, saying yes to what builds you. That's how it happens, inch by inch, day by day. Let me give you a little secret. Growth never shouts. It whispers. And if you're not quiet enough, patient enough, disciplined enough, you'll miss it. You'll think nothing is happening. But it is. When you plant a seed, you don't stand over it and scream, "Grow!" No. You water it. You protect it. And you trust the process. The same goes for your life. You want to grow financially? Get in the habit of saving, tracking, investing, studying. You want to grow in relationships? Get in the habit of listening, appreciating, showing up with love, even when you don't feel like it. You want to grow mentally or spiritually? Build a habit of reading, reflecting, praying, meditating, whatever builds your inner world. And the best part? You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. See, life rewards effort, not excuses. It pays compound interest to those who stay the course. One small habit today might not look like much, but in a year, 5 years, 10, it might be the very thing that changes your entire world. So don't underestimate the power of daily. Don't ignore the little things, that glass of water, that one walk, that 10 minutes of silence, that one call you finally made, that small habit of gratitude before bed. Because one day, you'll look back and realize those little things were actually the big things. Remember, you can't control the outcome, but you can control the input. And the input is your habits. So, start today. Start small. But whatever you do, start, because your daily habits are writing your life story, and your daily growth is how the best chapters begin. Small disciplines repeated daily create massive results over time. That's one of the most powerful truths you'll ever learn in life. You don't need to change everything overnight. You don't need a grand plan, a $1 million idea, or some breakthrough moment. What you need is a decision, and that decision is to do the small things every day, with purpose and with consistency. See, most people underestimate the power of small actions. They think if it's not big, it doesn't matter. They think if it doesn't shake the world, it's a waste of time. But that's not how growth works. That's not how success is built. The truth is, greatness is never built in a day. It's built in the quiet, early mornings. It's built in the hours no one sees. It's built in the decision to stay a little longer, read a little more, push a little harder, say no to something easy and yes to something meaningful. The secret is in the small things you do when no one is watching. Think about it like this. A seed doesn't become a tree overnight. It gets buried in dirt, watered every day, given sunlight, and protected. Day after day, even when nothing seems to happen on the outside, something is happening on the inside. That seed is getting stronger. It's preparing to break through the ground. The same is true for you. Your daily disciplines, your tiny, consistent actions, are preparing you to break through. You might not see it today, but it's there, Growth is happening under the surface, but most people get impatient. They want results now. They want progress today. So when they don't see instant results, they quit. They stop watering their habits. They dig up the seed. And then they wonder why they never grew. But the few who understand this principle, they keep going. They know the gym session that didn't show any muscle growth still mattered. They know the one chapter they read made their mind a little sharper. They know the small act of kindness created a ripple. They know the 5 minutes of silence gave them clarity. They trust that small disciplines compound. And that's the word, compound. When something compounds, it multiplies. It starts small but doesn't stay small. And here's where most people miss it. They think compound growth only applies to money. It doesn't. It applies to everything. Your mindset, your relationships, your health, your career, your confidence. Every time you show up for yourself, even in the smallest way, you make a deposit in your future. The dangerous thing about small disciplines is they work both ways. You can build your future one small good habit at a time, or you can destroy it with small neglects. Skip the workout, skip the book, skip the gratitude, skip the hard conversation. Do that once? No big deal. Do it every day? Your life is headed in a different direction. Most people don't ruin their life in one day. They ruin it gradually by ignoring the small disciplines. It's not the one slice of cake that breaks your health. It's the habit of choosing comfort over care. It's not the $1 you waste that breaks your bank account. It's the habit of never tracking, never planning. It's not the one argument that breaks a relationship. It's the habit of never listening, never growing. But just like neglect can destroy, daily, discipline can build. You can build strength, trust, skill, wisdom, patience, not by doing something huge, but by doing something small every day. The magic is in showing up when you don't feel like it, in doing what matters even when it's not exciting, in holding the line when your emotions scream otherwise. That's where real growth happens. The gym is empty some days. The notebook feels blank. The mirror doesn't change. The audience is small, but the habits continue. That's discipline. That's faith. That's what builds a person worth becoming. Imagine if you started today, just one small discipline, something doable, something meaningful. 5 minutes of journaling, 10 push-ups, one kind message, one honest conversation, one page of a good book. And imagine you did it again tomorrow, and the next day, and the next. Where would you be in 1 year? Who would you become? What would your life start to look like? You don't need more time. You need more intention with the time you already have. You don't need more energy. You need more direction for your energy. You don't need to do more things. You need to do the right things, over and over again. Don't fall in love with results. Fall in love with the process. Make your habits your focus. Let the results take care of themselves. Let today be the day you stop chasing shortcuts. Let today be the day you stop waiting for motivation. Let today be the day you understand. Small disciplines, repeated daily, create massive results over time. You don't get what you want. You get what you consistently work for. Everyone wants something. They want success, freedom, love, money, peace, health, happiness, respect, recognition. But wanting doesn't get you there. Wanting is just a wish until you put in the work. And not just once. Not just when it feels good. Not just when you're inspired. Consistently. Action of your patterns, not your promises. It's built on behavior, not declarations. You can tell the world who you are, but the world will only believe what you consistently show them. If you want health, you can't just want it when your energy is high. You have to show up to that workout, eat those greens, get that sleep, and repeat. Not for a week, not for a month, but until it becomes who you are. If you want to build wealth, you can't just dream of being rich. You have to manage your money, increase your skills, control your spending, invest wisely, learn constantly, and keep going when it gets slow. If you want deep relationships, you can when you're not in the mood. Wanting something costs nothing, but working for something, especially consistently, that costs everything. It costs your comfort. It costs your laziness. It costs your excuses. It demands your presence. It demands your attention. It demands that you keep going long after the feeling has passed. That's where most people fall off. They start with fire and end with smoke. They're motivated on Monday and lost by Friday. They say this is the year, but by February they're back to the same cycle. Not because they didn't want it, but because they didn't stay with it. The ones who win aren't always the smartest or the most talented. They're often the ones who just didn't quit. They kept showing up. They kept doing the reps. They kept learning from failure. They didn't just chase the finish line. They respected the process. And over time, the process rewarded them. Consistency doesn't mean perfection. You'll have off days. You'll make mistakes. You'll lose focus sometimes. But consistency means you return, you realign, you recommit. You don't let one bad day turn into a bad week. You don't let temporary emotions destroy long-term vision. The work is always there for you, whether you feel like it or not, whether you're celebrated or not, whether anyone's watching or not. And the beautiful part is, if you do the work, the results have no choice but to show up. Maybe not today, maybe not this week, but eventually, the universe responds to consistent effort. You build momentum. You build credibility with yourself and with others. You start to see the shift. Your confidence grows not from talking, but from knowing you've earned it. You wake up one day and realize that the life you have now used to be the life you were just dreaming about. Not because you got lucky, but because you worked for it. Every single day. It's easy to want more. It's harder to become more. And becoming more requires that you stop being at war with your own actions. You can't say you want peace and then keep choosing chaos. You can't say you want clarity and then keep consuming noise. You can't say you want to grow and then run from discipline. Life rewards alignment. When your habits match your dreams, you create harmony. And in that harmony, you move forward. Slow, steady, powerful. There is no shortcut to transformation. There is no fast pass to greatness. There is only the work, the early mornings, the quiet nights, the sacrifice of short-term pleasure for long-term gain, the discipline to keep going when the applause stops, the ability to stay humble when you win and stay hungry when you don't. Consistency builds character, and character builds everything else. You want to be respected? Be consistent. You want to be trusted? Be consistent. You want to be powerful? Be consistent. You want to grow? Be consistent. Everything you're hoping to become is on the other side of the for it, consistently, relentlessly, quietly, when no one saw it, when no one celebrated it, when no one believed it. You believed it, you acted on it, and you became it. Success is not one big move. It's hundreds of quiet steps taken in private. Most people are looking for that one breakthrough, that one lucky moment, that one big opportunity that changes everything. But the truth is, success rarely comes from a single event. It's not about winning the lottery, going viral, or making a dramatic comeback overnight. Real success is built silently, brick by brick, far away from the spotlight. It's the product of what you do daily when no one is clapping and no one is watching. It's in the mornings you wake up early just to sharpen your skills. It's in the nights you stay up late reflecting, studying, planning. It's in the boring tasks, the discipline, the repetition, the humility to do it all over again tomorrow. Those quiet steps don't look like much at first. They don't get applause. They don't show results right away. They often feel invisible, unnoticed, unrewarded. But they're building something powerful inside you. They're building habits. They're building character. They're building the kind of person who can carry the weight of success when it finally arrives. People think success is a single mountain you climb and plant your flag on top. But it's more like a long trail with no signs, no map, and no fanfare. You keep moving forward because you believe in something greater than what you feel right now. You keep walking because the vision in your heart is louder than the doubt in your head. And that vision is fueled by daily action. Not loud, dramatic action, but small, intentional steps that align with your purpose. It might be reading one page of a book. It might be saying no to a distraction. It might be reaching out to one new person. It might be doing the right thing when the wrong thing would have been easier. Those choices compound. They shape your path. And without realizing it, you're being sculpted into someone different, someone stronger, someone wiser, someone ready. Most people never make it to their dream because they're waiting for something big to happen. They're waiting for a sign, a push, a spark. But real winners don't wait. They work. They put in the effort even when they feel uncertain. They walk through the fog with faith that their steps are not wasted. They don't need to be seen. They don't need to be praised. They're not addicted to validation. They're addicted to growth. They find joy in the process itself. They understand that success is not about the crowd. It's about the climb. The real measure of your growth is not in what you achieve publicly, but in who you become privately. Are you disciplined when no one's watching? Are you focused when it would be easier to scroll and drift? Are you learning, improving, trying, even when progress is slow and setbacks are many? There are no shortcuts in this journey. Every person who reached the top took those same quiet steps. They were laughed at, doubted, ignored, but they kept going. Not because it was easy, but because they knew it would be worth it. They trained in silence. They failed in silence. They healed in silence. And one day, they succeeded. And it looked like an overnight success. But there's no such thing. There's only the work. There's only the small, steady grind. The people who make the biggest impact often live the quietest lives. They're not chasing attention. They're chasing excellence. They're focused on their craft, their mission, their growth. And in doing so, they separate themselves. They build a foundation so strong that when success comes, it doesn't shake them. They don't crumble under pressure because they've been carrying the weight for years, quietly, consistently. You don't need a big moment. You need a daily rhythm. You need small commitments that you honor. You need to become the kind of person who doesn't break promises to yourself, because that's where confidence is built. That's where belief grows, not by telling yourself you'll win, but by proving it to yourself one step at a time. You show up for yourself enough times, and something inside of you changes. You stop negotiating with excuses. You stop listening to doubt. You stop waiting for permission, and you start walking like it's already yours. Because deep down, you've earned it. Not all at once, but in pieces. And those pieces added up to something unshakable. Success isn't found in shouting your goals to the world. It's found in showing up when no one is looking. It's not in having the perfect plan. It's in making progress with an imperfect one. It's not in being the loudest voice. It's in being the most consistent presence, the loudest in discipline, the loudest in perseverance, the loudest in action. When others take breaks, you take steps. When others quit, you keep walking. You will have lived through the struggle, the stretch, the storms. You will have endured the silence, the doubt, the setbacks. But you didn't stop. You kept taking those quiet steps. You didn't let the lack of results fool you. You didn't let the noise distract you. You didn't let the pace discourage you. You moved forward with purpose, with vision, with belief. And slowly, quietly, you became someone different. You became the kind of person who creates success, not just chases it. You built something strong, something lasting, something real. And now, whatever life throws at you, you know you can handle it. Because you've already proven you're willing to do what most people won't. You've already walked through the hard parts without applause. You've already paid the price in private. And that's why you can hold the reward in public, not because of one big move, but because of hundreds of quiet steps taken in private. Growth is invisible at first. Trust the compound effect. That's the part most people miss. They want results they can see, feel, touch. They want visible progress, fast wins, instant feedback. But growth doesn't always announce itself. It doesn't always show up in the mirror or the bank account or the audience size right away. In fact, real growth often happens in silence. It's happening while you feel stuck. It's happening while you're doubting yourself. It's happening in the moments you keep showing up, even when it seems like nothing's changing. Because the compound effect is always at work. Like gravity, it doesn't ask for permission. It simply responds to repetition, to consistency, to effort. The same way water shapes a rock, not by force, but by dripping over time, your daily actions are shaping your life, even when you can't see it yet. It's easy to feel frustrated when you're doing all the right things and nothing seems to happen. You're reading the books, hitting the gym, building your project, improving your mindset, staying away from distractions, and yet everything around you looks the same. That's the moment when most people quit. Not because they're lazy, but because they don't realize how long the foundation takes. The first phase of growth is invisible. It's happening deep inside. It's developing your discipline. It's sharpening your focus. It's building your inner strength. It's rewiring the way you think. That can't be measured in likes or followers or praise. That can't be seen in the mirror or displayed on a graph, but it's there. Quiet, steady, powerful, preparing you for what's ahead. Think about the seed under the ground. You plant it, water it, wait. Day after day, you see nothing. The surface doesn't move. The soil doesn't shift. It looks like nothing is happening. But beneath that soil, everything is happening. Roots are forming. Structure is developing. It's getting ready to rise. But if you didn't trust the process, you'd dig it up. You'd assume it failed. You'd walk away just before the breakthrough. That's what most people do in life. They give up right before it starts to work. Because they couldn't see the growth, they assumed there wasn't any. But the ones who win, they trust the invisible. They know the compound effect is slow, but it's real. They keep planting, they keep watering, they keep believing, and eventually the roots break through. The seed becomes a sprout, the sprout becomes a tree, and the tree becomes unstoppable. The compound effect doesn't care about how fast you move. It only cares that you don't stop. 1% better each day may not sound like much, but over time it changes everything. One good decision repeated daily becomes a habit. One habit sustained becomes a lifestyle. One lifestyle lived fully becomes a legacy. But it all starts with small, simple actions, done consistently, done with faith, done without needing to see immediate reward. That's the part that takes maturity. That's the part that separates the dreamers from the doers. Anyone can start. Few can continue when there's no applause. Few can endure the silence, the waiting, the invisible seasons of life. But that's where champions are made. That's where character is forged. That's where belief is tested and strengthened. The gym session that didn't show you abs, it still mattered. The day you didn't feel like studying but opened the book anyway, it still mattered. The extra hour you gave to your craft, the moment you chose discipline over comfort, the time you walked away from something toxic, it all added up. You might not see it right now, but you're building something unbreakable. Every decision is a brick. Every action is a step. And even the days that feel small are laying the groundwork for something big. You don't have to move mountains in a day. You just have to move an inch, then do it again tomorrow, and again the next day. That's how you climb. That's how you grow. What makes the compound effect so powerful is that it doesn't just work for progress, it works for decline too. That's why small neglects are dangerous. Skip a workout here and there, it seems harmless. Eat poorly for a week, nothing major happens. Delay your work, your goals, your responsibilities, no immediate consequence. But that's the trap. Just like growth compounds, so does neglect. One missed action becomes a habit. One excuse becomes a pattern. One distraction becomes a lifestyle. And before you know it, you're far from where you wanted to be. Not because of one big mistake, but because of tiny ones repeated over time. That's the hidden cost of inconsistency. It doesn't just slow you down, it reverses your direction. But the beautiful thing is, the compound effect works both ways. If you've been off track, you can change your direction today. You can choose one good habit, one new standard, one better decision, and start compounding in the right direction. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It just has to be done daily. That's the part you control. You can't control how fast the results show up, but you can control what you give every day. And if you keep giving your best, even when it's quiet, even when it's hard, even when it feels pointless, something begins to shift. First inside of you, then around you, then beyond you. You'll start to notice that the effort you gave a month ago is paying you back today. You'll realize that the mindset you built last year is helping you handle today's pressure. You'll look around and see progress where there used to be frustration. And you'll understand it didn't happen all at once. It happened daily, quietly, invisibly. Just like compound interest in a bank account, it grew while you weren't watching. It grew while you were doubting. It grew while you were patiently staying in the game. And that's when growth becomes visible. That's when others start to notice. They'll ask what changed. They'll think it was sudden. But you'll know the truth. It wasn't sudden. It was steady. It was built in silence. It was built in the days you felt tired, but still showed up. It was built in the moments you could have quit but chose not to. It was built because you trusted the compound effect. You can't change your life until you change your daily routine. Everyone wants to change their life. Everyone wants to wake up one day and feel different, act different, live different. But the truth is, life doesn't change with a single moment of motivation or a grand plan written in a notebook. It changes with your routine, with what you do every single day, especially when nobody is watching. That's where your real life lives. Not in the goals you write down, but in the choices you make between sunrise and sunset. Your routine is your signature. It tells the world who you really are, not who you say you are. You can say you want to be healthy, but if your daily routine includes skipping workouts, eating junk, and avoiding rest, your life won't move in that direction. You can say you want to be successful, but if your days are filled with distractions, procrastination, and a lack of discipline, the results will always reflect your habits, not your hopes. Your daily routine either serves you or sabotages you. There is no neutral. Every habit you have is either pulling you forward or holding you back. And the power of your routine is that it works quietly. It's shaping you whether you realize it or not. Most people don't pay attention to the little things. They think success is about the big events, the big moves, the breakthroughs. But it's not. It's about what you do before 8 a.m. and after 8 p.m. It's about how you start and end each day. It's about the disciplines you've made automatic. Because once something becomes part of your routine, it becomes part of you. There's a saying that people do not decide their future. They decide their habits, and their habits decide their future. That's not just a nice quote. It's a warning and a blueprint. If you want to change your life, don't wait for the weekend, the new year, or some perfect moment that never comes. Look at your day. Look at your mornings. Look at your evenings. Look at how you use your time when no one is forcing you to. That's where transformation begins. Small changes to your routine create massive changes in your life. Wake up 1 hour earlier. Spend 10 minutes planning your day. Take a walk instead of scrolling. Write down what you're grateful for. Turn off distractions. Set boundaries. Speak kindly to yourself. One change leads to another. The compound effect begins. And soon, your routine is no longer a random collection of habits, but a system built to support the person you're trying to become. The problem is, most people protect their comfort more than their purpose. They design their routine around what feels easy, not what builds strength. They hit snooze because 5 more minutes feels good, not realizing it costs them clarity. They scroll social media for an hour, thinking it's harmless, but it's stealing their focus. They stay up late watching meaningless content and wonder why their energy is gone in the morning. It's not that they lack time or ability, it's that they haven't taken control of their day. Because the moment you take control of your day, you take control of your life. It starts with responsibility, owning your time, owning your habits, owning your energy. You can't outsource growth. No one is going to live your dream for you. No one is going to force you to do the work. It's on you. It always has been. But here's the good news. Your routine is yours. You get to shape it. You get to choose what fills your hours. You get to decide what matters most. You don't have to copy anyone else's life. You just have to be honest about your own. Are your current habits aligned with the future you want? Are your days building the life you say you want to live? If not, then something has to change. And it starts small. Don't try to overhaul everything overnight. That only leads to burnout. Pick one thing, one habit, one time slot, then build from there. Make your morning sacred. Make your night intentional. Make your work focused. Make your rest real. And keep stacking those habits, one on top of the other. The greatest shift in your life won't come from a speech, a book, or a breakthrough moment. It will come from the decision to stop living on autopilot, to stop letting your day control you and start taking control of your day. Imagine waking up with purpose instead of panic. Imagine finishing the day feeling fulfilled instead of frustrated. That's not a fantasy. That's the power of routine. That's what happens when you make the hard choices easy by turning them into habits. Motivation is fleeting. Willpower runs out. But routines last. And routines create rhythm. And rhythm creates results. The most successful people in the world aren't the most talented or the most motivated. They're the most structured. They've learned how to design their days with discipline. They don't leave success to chance. They don't rely on inspiration. They rely on systems. They trust their process more than their feelings because they know feelings change, but routines keep going on good days and bad days, when it's raining or sunny, when they feel like it and when they don't. That's the difference between wishing and winning. Wishing waits. Winning works. Wishing hopes. Winning builds. Wishing is emotional. Winning is intentional. Look at any area of your life you want to improve. Health, wealth, mindset, relationships, spirituality. Every single one of them is rooted in your daily actions. How you speak, how you think, how you move, how you rest, how you give, how you grow. There is no magic fix. There is only daily effort. But once you align your routine with your values, everything starts to shift. You stop chasing quick fixes. You stop looking for motivation. You start becoming the person who naturally does the things that lead to growth. You stop forcing change and start flowing with it. Your life is a reflection of your routine. If you want more peace, build peaceful moments into your day. If you want more clarity, create time for silence. If you want more strength, include struggle in your schedule. If you want more love, make space for connection. The life you dream about is already waiting for you on the other side of your current habits. It doesn't require a new year. It doesn't require a new job. It doesn't require a different environment. It requires a new level of ownership. Ownership of how you spend your 24 hours. Because that's all you ever really have. Not someday. Not eventually. Just today. Just now. And what you do now becomes who you are tomorrow. Your routine isn't just how you pass the time. It's how you shape your future.